Hi everyone, this is Caroline Speaks, The State of the World on Sunday, March 21st, 2021. So what is it? Good, better, and different, all three. The coronavirus is still with us. Hospitalizations are declining, new cases are declining, and fatalities are declining. But we still have over 540,000 people who have passed away from this virus. Uh, it's very dangerous, and you have to obey the rules. Why are people still refusing to wear a mask, practice social distancing, and only go out when you have to? I don't know, but that's the way it is. And now they have revised the distance requirements in schools from 6 feet to 3 feet for students, but teachers and staff still have to maintain a 6 feet distance. So that doesn't make any sense. And with all kinds of variants going around outside, developed, why are we reducing the distance? We're definitely putting people in danger if we reduce the distance that students have to be apart, but teachers have to maintain 6 feet and staff 6 feet. Is this a political calculation? I don't know. That's what the CDC is doing, said 6 feet to 3 feet. As of this today, we have 29,933,060 cases in the U.S. And you have almost over 540,000 fatalities from this virus. Now, so I don't get it. I really don't. Now, you have to wear a mask, you have to practice social distancing, you only should go out when you have to, and should only socialize with those in your immediate family. Now, some news from the past, old news being reevaluated. Back in 2011, the Arab Spring started or was coming along, and in Egypt, Mubarak was the president, Anwar Sadat was the prior president, but he was murdered by a soldier and while reviewing troops. And so Egypt has had, at that time, was having some issues, and some protesters decided it's time for have the real democracy. And they faced tear gas, water cannon, and beatings from security forces on the streets of Cairo back in 2011. Up to 1,200 people were arrested, including a number of journalists. 6 people back then were killed. The Secretary of State at the time was Hillary Clinton, and she did not criticize the Egyptian government, saying only that the country was stable and Egyptians had the right to protest, while urging all parties to avoid violence. An Egyptian American activist and writer, Mustafa Omar, was there, and the one thing, they had an interview with him. This is an Egyptian American activist, and what he said: Hillary Clinton forgets to mention tear gas, tanks, concussion grenades used against Egyptian protesters back in 2011 are made in the U.S. So that implies that the U.S. Was not really supporting the protesters. So not good, but that's the way it is. Now, an Egyptian activist at the time has recently passed away at the age of 89. Egyptian feminist Nawal El Saadawi has passed away, and she was interviewed back in 2011, and now we've lost her. Women and girls, she said at the time back in 2011 that women and girls are beside boys in the streets in the protest. So our country, at that time, President Obama was the president, and we were supporting the protest, which ended up in a change of government and some elections, and but now we're back with a kind of military style government back in Egypt. But it seems like that Egypt was they seems to be following the lead of the United States and Israel. But there, it seems like people have stated at the time that Israel and United States kind of controlled the narrative about Egypt. But now Egypt is back again. They have a military government at the time, and they are not practicing human rights, but they are definitely not a democratic government, which the people at the time fought hard for in their protests. And so that's old news, I guess. But the thing is, they did have a revolution, but the narrative was kind of controlled by the United States and Israel, because Israel did make peace with Egypt when Anwar Sadat was the leader. So who knows what the real story is in Egypt. But Egypt is not a democratic country. So what can we say? We need a lot of change in the world. During President Trump's administration, he agreed to sell American war weapons to various Arab countries because they agreed to recognize Israel. Morocco is a country which recognized the state of Israel way back in 1948, the first country to do so. And they have been noted for maintaining a colony in the Western Sahara and Algeria, and they trying to hold on to that, treating the people terribly. And they have agreed to, Israel agreed to recognize Morocco's claim over the Western Sahara, and in exchange, the United States has agreed to sell Morocco some weapons. So that's the way it is. It's not a good situation. People are kind of like trading favors, and the people are the ones who are being punished. The Egyptian people, the people of the Western Sahara, all the way down the line. Now, we have still have to get this virus under control. People have to wear a mask, practice social distancing, only go out when you have to, and only socialize with those in your immediate household. So that's this kind of some news from the past about Egypt when they had the Arab Spring back in 2011. This is 2021, 10 years ago. Okay, now that's enough kind of news for today. How about a little music? A song I'd like to sing today is called, how about Michael? It's a very old song. Don't know who wrote it. Nice little folk song. Michael rowed the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael rowed the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Sister helped to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Sister helped to trim the sails. hallelujah. Jordan River is chilly and cold, hallelujah. Chills the body but not the soul, hallelujah. The river is deep and the river is wide, hallelujah. Milk and honey on the other side, hallelujah. Okay, that's Michael Row the Boat Ashore, an old folk song. Hope you like that. Thank you for tuning in this evening of Sunday, March 21st, 2021, for a meeting of Caroline Speaks State of the World. Hope you'll be back with us again tomorrow evening. Stay safe. And remember, wear that mask. Help others and help yourself. Stay safe. Thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow. Good night.